Hello and welcome back. Going on another little adventure, a little flow state. I hit the gym very hard yesterday. So today I'm resting, quote unquote, resting. But even when I have my rest days, I still am active a little bit. I think it's important to be consistent every day with doing some kind of movement, and going down to the ocean and back is definitely movement. Cardio, activating my entire body. My mind as well, because walking on those rocks at a fast pace is quite tricky. You're engaging balance and all kinds of motor skills, and just like, it's intense. And then going back up the hill is quite something. And I have a little congestion going on, which is unacceptable. Just fundamentally unacceptable. I don't get sick very often. So yesterday was a little rough because, it was like an hour and a half training session at the gym. I normally do about an hour of, actually, it's 20 minutes cardio plus an hour. So yesterday was 20 minutes cardio plus an hour and a half. And I didn't go to the gym for the 3 days before, just busy on the weekend and doing stuff. And then Monday was a holiday, so I took full advantage of my rest and attacked the gym full power. I think it was like 23,892 kilos that I moved in total weight. I don't know what that is in pounds, but it's a fuck ton. So my fitness goals are long-term. I have long-term fitness goals that I may or may not achieve. I don't approach my health and wellness like a full-on psychopath, but I do commit myself every day to making the best decisions I can make. And so with that being said, the primary thing I need to focus on is my diet, my overall calorie consumption. Hola, buenos días. So I don't weigh my food either. I tried that for a minute, but it just was too much of a pain in the ass, and I guess I'm just not that dedicated to it. I guess, I don't know. I'm not training for anything in particular. It's just being healthy and having as lean body mass as possible and as much muscle as possible, and mobility as well. I mean, that's a huge thing that I dedicate some time to. I probably should dedicate more to this, but it's just not always a priority, I guess. So it's interesting because, I'm sharing this with you. This is like real life, just fucking, I was just thinking about it. So, like any kind of cookies, sometimes we buy these Madeline cookies or Magdalenas, and And, I have a mindset like if you buy it, you're gonna eat it, so just don't buy it unless it's whole food, clean, whole food. But sometimes my wife will buy a little snack for the kids, just because they like it. I mean, if I eat one of those fucking cookies, I'll eat an entire sleeve. And that's not good. Especially if I'm stoned and just acting in a manner that is not in alignment with my long-term goals. Having said that, I think it's only normal, like, I'm not a robot, I am a dynamic human being just like everyone else, feeling emotion, just the roller coaster of life. So if I'm hungry because I didn't eat enough, or if I'm not satiated and I smoke and I see a pack of cookies, that fucking thing is gonna disappear in a few minutes. But hey, I burn it off the next day. I'm not training for like an Olympia competition or something like that. So it doesn't matter. And what I have learned over time is to accept those moments, enjoy those moments, savor them, and just move on. Because the real trauma ensues after the fact, right? You don't actually experience trauma during an event. You experience trauma after the event, while your mind is engaged in incessant thinking, trying to analyze just non-stop. It's like, shut the fuck up already. So why torture yourself? Why relive a moment that, in the grand scheme of things, has no effect on anything? Now, if I ate a pack of cookies every single day, well, obviously there's a problem, right? No one should be doing that. Just like, well, personally, I don't eat fast food. I'm very particular with my food in general, so unless I'm stoned, which is obviously something I need to work on, like reframing, but then it's just beyond good intentions, right? It's like people that drink too much, like, they have that one drink and then like, the next thing you know, they have like 18 more. It's like, why did I do that? Well, you probably shouldn't drink, So I've come a long way with how I reframe in my relationship with cannabis in particular. I have a deep appreciation for the plant. I think it's a medicinal plant. I think it has beautiful benefits that are being actively studied, and there's clear data to suggest that the benefits outweigh the possible negative. It also depends on how you ingest cannabis, whether you smoke it or use a vaporizer or ingest it with food. So I'm not a fan of the liquid cartridges. I think those are just too unknown for my taste. Like, I just don't know what's in them, At least when I'm eating these cookies, I know that cookies, whatever. Could be anything. I mean, it's like if you're eating McDonald's, you know that you're being poisoned, right? This is like, there's no debate about it. This is like, it's very clear. It's very black and white, right? You know that what you're doing is ingesting poison. Just like alcohol, or, you know, even to some degree pharmaceutical medicine. Like, it's just crazy shit just pumping through you, made in some lab. It's like the same people that are working on new drugs are also working on making foods last longer, taste different mouth feels with all kinds of synthetic ingredients. It's just nasty ass shit that's not in your best interest to consume. They make it extremely accessible. It's not necessarily affordable either. You know, I have no idea what, you know, a Big Mac meal costs or whatever, but it sure as shit ain't a couple of bucks. So I guess my point is that one sleeve of cookies, one Big Mac, one whatever, you know, piece of cake, it's probably not going to make any difference. It's just appreciating that experience, saying thank you, and then just choosing not to do it again sooner than later, right? Where people run into the problem that is ultimately a thing that persists for them is the inability to accept, relish in the moment, and then just not do it again. So the people that do it again are those that are struggling with different underlying issues that prevent them from being whole, happy, focused, present, and motivated to enrich themselves so they can enrich the people around them. So going back to the cookies analogy, I mean, when I was younger, I realize now how unhappy I was, how depressed I was, how misguided I was, just seeking for something that I didn't really know what I was seeking, or even the whole process of just beginning to understand yourself. And it's extremely difficult when you're young. And then I feel like I always get distracted at the same moment because it's just so fucking beautiful. Even on a cloudy day like this, it's just, I mean, come on. Appreciating beauty in all its glory, no matter where you are. Concrete jungle, forest, ocean. It'll be interesting to see how well I do coming up this hill today. My legs are a little sore. Not great. But, you know, tomorrow's another gym day, so fuck it. You know, I think I took a different path today. Interesting. So, the key is understanding that so much of what we do and think and feel is in our control and manageable. For me, it starts by establishing a few fundamental truths that over time can develop into a toolkit to be able to calm the mind. And because of that, everything else falling into place and allowing you to be confronted by any situation and being able to have the tools to be able to process and engage in a way that's a high status frequency vibration, right? None of this low status shit, of which I've had plenty of moments in my life that were low status, and I'm quite hard on myself, not in like a negative way, but just in a analytical and supportive and critical way to be able to then learn from my mistakes. And I think that's so important, is to be reflective and to not allow yourself to get consumed by things that don't matter. So much of what we do on a daily basis matters not, it just doesn't fucking matter. It's pretty nice. Fantastic. That might be the thumbnail. Take a little screen grab. It's a little rainy today. I wonder where I should go. It's crazy, all of these cactus. It is so humid right now. You know, I wonder even if I'm going to be able to record this video. It's a little rainy. Feels like it's raining even more now. All right, well. This is pretty wild. I have no idea what it is. Like maybe a memorial or I don't know. Being still and silent is a learned skill. How to calm your mind, how to just relax profoundly. It's okay to be with people and not have to feel like you need to talk or respond or react, right? A reaction is an unconscious behavior. A response is a conscious behavior. Wow, it's super high tide right now. This is amazing. Well, I think I found a spot actually. We're gonna go right down there. Do a little video. My brain's not fully functioning today. Love this lava. How terrifying would this be, right? The mountain, Tay, it's just like spewing fucking lava up into the air, out into the tunnels created by the lava underground. And just flowing. This was all flowing lava that just built this island. It's just really amazing. All right, well, I'm gonna stop recording, set up my camera, try to capture this moment, and we'll be back. All right, we're back. Another successful shoot. Time for the hike up the hill. I like this location. It's a little overcast. We'll see what it looks like when we get back to the studio and start editing. We will see how much energy I have going up this hill. I am also hungry, and I am looking forward to some delicious food after I get back. I feel like my hair tie is a little wonky. It's all right. Fantastic. So, where did we leave off? We left off by talking about controlling our incessant thinking, relaxing our mind, and realizing that all of the tools we have are within us. It's a matter of access. That's all it really is. It's like trying to get into a nightclub in Berlin. You know, it's like, how many times can you get rejected before you figure out, well, maybe I should change my strategy? And then lo and behold, you get into Berghain or Catablau or any one of the other amazing man. So, strategy. If the strategy isn't producing results that you're looking for, change the fucking strategy. How quickly you change and adapt will be an indicator to how intelligent you are. You know? That's really what it comes down to. And we all like to think that we're so smart and we're so this and so that, but reality has a great way of humbling us all, myself included, of course. One hell of a rest day, I can tell you that. Oh, man. It's wild, there's an island right over there, but most of the time you can't see it. It's really not that far either. Oh, my heart. All right. The tools. What kind of toolkit have you built up to help you along your journey? I'm curious to know. I'm curious to learn from you. If you don't mind sharing a little bit in the comment section, I'd really appreciate it. And so will the world. Expressing yourself wholly without any fear of judgment, because again, as we've established, none of it fucking matters. These people don't matter, and certainly not their opinion of you. Are you kidding? We all want to make our parents proud. Having said that, does their opinion of you really make a difference? The answer to that question is both yes and no. The real answer is, of course, fucking not. No one's opinion should make any difference in your life. Fuck. But the reality is that most definitely their opinion of you has an impact. The key is learning how to detach from the constructed meaning that you create based on whatever they said or did. Oh wow, I'm already here. It's quite fast today. Well, not really here yet. I have another chunk to go. I guess it's the halfway point. Okay. So, a little personal insight, a little struggle to share, which is that when I realized how limiting my beliefs were in other people's opinions and I have to say, if you're asking someone for something, the only thing that you need to do is to listen. Don't say anything. Don't do anything. Just listen. Don't interrupt them. It's not a conversation, okay? It's you asking for something. They will tell you some version of reality, right? Depending on who you ask, depending on how much development they've done for themselves to let go of their trauma and their issues and struggles and everything. It's really hard to get a genuine answer out of anybody unless they've put in the work. I'm going to train away whatever bullshit, congestion, ailment thing that I have. We'll see if it works. Stay tuned for an update. The whole point of FlowState is uninhibited, free-flowing expression of what I have going on, what I'm looking to do, and how I can be of service to those that are interested in really making profound impact in how they feel. My approach is a combination of many things. The things that have worked for me, not because there's some kind of magic pill, but because I've put in the work, which is what's required in order to make any kind of progress. For anything. Think about the first time you got into a car after you getting your driver's license. Were you nervous? Were you self-conscious? self-conscious behavior is at the root of what we're talking about, which is that you've essentially opened yourself up to what other people think, which again, we've established these people do not matter. And once you get clear on that, you'll see things very differently. Now, don't misconstrue what I'm saying and co-opt it into something negative, which it isn't. It's getting to a point where you've liberated yourself from an imprisonment So something that comes to mind is art. Artists, professional artists that are not craftsmen or craft people, whatever. People that are technically proficient and do a thing that other people can't do is not necessarily art. It's a craft. It's a practice. Art comes into play, and so what I mean by that is like landscape artists, portrait artists, people that are doing technical things that take an image and try to recreate that to the best of their ability. I don't really consider those people artists. I consider them extremely skilled, talented, phenomenal craftsmen, but I don't think they're artists. The role of an artist is to take something that doesn't exist and transform it into something that does. Now you can say that, well, the painting of this landscape didn't exist before, but the landscape exists. And anybody that dedicates themselves to the technical skill set that is required in order to transfer that image that is in front of you onto a canvas is a highly skilled technician that, with time and patience, can transfer from a teacher to a student, and you can get that. But it doesn't really mean that they're an artist. A highly skilled abstract painter is an artist. A poet creating something from nothing is an artist. A writer, a composer, a musician who's compiling all of the necessary pieces in order to create something that is essentially from nothing. That's an artist. You think a real artist gives a shit what you think of their work? Fuck no. What an absurd comment or an idea. Critics, there's no such thing as bad art. It doesn't exist. There is such a thing as, or the construct of taste. What people have deemed to declare as good and bad and mediocre. Those are all very real constructs. But they're just that, they're constructs. There's no meaning to them unless you allow the meaning to develop inwards. And then That meaning will create a narrative by the incessant thinking in your mind, and will manifest itself into your reality. Internal mind is very real. It may not be real on the outside, but it sure shit can feel real on the inside. And so how do you regulate that? How do you allow for the thoughts to enter into your mind and to exit without it affecting you? I'll tell you, years of practice and dedication with the singular focus of being present. That is the unbiased truth that will enable you to feel blissed out every single fucking day, even when shit hits the fan. In death and loss, tragedy, all very real things. All things that I've gone through in my life, experienced the things that have happened that are fundamentally out of my control. And I didn't have the tools to handle the situation. When my mom died, my grandparents died, these are all very real things that happened to people. And so you may not realize it in those moments that you have a choice. This is not to say that the pain you're feeling, the loss of life and presence and support isn't as real as being rained on. But holding on to something and letting it affect your present and your future, to me, is no longer acceptable behavior. Learning from the past to control your present feelings about a situation to enable your future you must be done in order to feel in control. Which is where I find myself being drawn to being in service of others. Is where I feel most empowered to help. And there are so many people out there that can help, and they have incredible skill sets and everything. And the point of finding someone is to leverage everything they have to say and figure out how that applies to your life. All right, I'm done. My brain needs to rest. Thank you for another great excursion, FlowState. I'm going to see you next time.